Yes, g'day punters. Welcome to the greattipoff.com YouTube. And today, we are joined by one of the greats, Mark Hunter. He's going to chat to us all things Flemington Carnival. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Mick. How you going?
Yeah, really well, mate. Really well. Look, things are heating up down there in Melbourne. It's been a big couple of weeks. Cox Plate last week, and you absolutely dominated 4 winners on the day with a 30% profit on turnover. So we thought, why not get you on, have a chat to you and see what's happening the week ahead, first day of the Flemington Carnival, mate. Are you excited for the Flemington Carnival?
Yeah, I am. It's always, a great week of racing. We've got big fields. Last week were pretty thin fields, not much value. This year, whilst we're missing a lot of your horses that are up your way in Sydney, still big fields, few winners to be had, and it's always, it's a fantastic week down here.
Super stuff. And for those punters out there that are interested in getting Mark's set of tips, they will be out. So I think they come out Friday. Is that right, Mark? Or is it Saturday morning?
Saturday morning after scratchings.
Beautiful. Saturday morning after scratchings. All you got to do, head to thegreattipoff.com, go to the search bar, type in Mark Hunter, and away you go. Simple as that. Very, very easy. Righto. Well, this is why people are tuning in, mate. We're going to run over the Derby. We're going to do the Coolmore, and then we're going to get your best bet of the day. Then we're going to have a little chat about the Melbourne Cup and get your early thoughts. But let's kick off with the Victoria Derby. 2,500 metres for the 3-year-olds. Looking at a horse here by the name of Riff Rocket, trained by Chris Waller, about $2.20 favourite. You've got a Puglia there around $4 and Vedad around $7.40. First of all, how do you see the race unfold speed-wise? And then give us a tip for the race and sort of just a little bit of insights as to why you found that horse.
Well, we've got a few rolling forward. I would imagine the leader is probably a horse called Air Assault who led up the valley last week. It's drawn in 6, jumps well, and you think it would cross those inside it. Sacred Eagle's drawn 2, has to take a sit. It's not much good, has to take a sit. Verdad led last week. I don't think they want to lead again. You can see J-Mac want to hold his spot on Riff Rocker, but not a leader. And get out wide. Gold Bullion showed no intent last time at Caulfield. That surprised me. And Sunsets has drawn 16, who went forward last time, controlled the race. They've got to decide what they do. So I think, to answer your question, I think Air Assault's probably the first leader. A few rolling forward. I think you'll see the favourite and the top pick, Riff Rocket, just parked beautifully there. 5th or 6th, controlling the race with the leaders in their sights. Looks a pretty thin derby. I've ended up just settling on 4 and 1, which are the two obvious, Riff Rocket and Apulia. They've been meeting. They met at Flemington. Riff Rocket had the beautiful run on the fence where you needed to be that day. Apulia was coming off a setback, got spat out the back, worst part of the track, needed the run after the setback, so you completely forgive that. Take them to Caulfield. Riff Rocket sat just behind them, got out and just failed to run down Sunsets. Apulia was in the wrong part of the track and the wrong way the race was run, ran well. Apulia's gone to the valley and won. So you can say there's not that much in them, but I think Riff Rocket with a nice run's got a great turn of foot. I think he'll put paid to them and win the race. Apulia, the danger, is on the back up 3 weeks in a row. I think they just stand out. Sunsets would be good enough to compete, but drawn 16. If you want a roughie there, Air Assault, that thing that led up at Moonee Valley last time, got run over but was coming again on the line. I think it'll relish 2,500, whereas a few of the others will be weakening. So 4 to beat 1, good place chance to number 3, Air Assault.
Love it. That's a really good summation there. And do you think it's just a case of Riff Rocket, if he runs out a strong 2,500 metres, he will be winning?
You would think so. He wasn't weak at 2,000 last time. I heard a lot of queries about him at the trip, but I don't think he was weak at the trip. He exploded over 1,800 the start before. He's going to just be curled up. J-Mac will hold him together for as long as he can. And there's a lot of deadwood, like in every Victoria Derby, a lot of deadwood. I think he'll just control the race. He'll come out, he'll go crunch, and he'll pinch a winning break, I would think.
Yep, super stuff. All right, there you go, punters. We'll go to race 6, the Coolmore Stud Stakes. This looks like a cracking race, another good addition. They always are. You've got, Cylinder here coming out of the Everest, $4 favourite. Shinzo's out of the same race around the $7.50 mark. King's Gambit that returned to career best form last start thereabouts. And look, 19 horses here lining up. How do you see the race unfold? Firstly, I'll ask you, where do you think they'll go to from the 1,200 metres? Do you think they'll go to the rail, the middle, or the outside, or will they just be spread across the track?
That's a good question. I haven't walked the track yet. Last year they come out wide, but that was on a wetter track where you had wear and tear inside. So Saturday being rail true, no rain whatsoever down here in Firm. I'm not sure. You've got the leaders, probably Osmosis and Salui. They're in 5 and 6, so they can control whether they come to the inside, hold their spot up the middle, which they do tend to do in straight racing, or they could edge out wide if they want. So my best guess would be they'd probably come up the middle, Salui and Osmosis.
Yep.
That would be my best guess. Look, I think your golden slipper form's your winning form. And the three big guns, Shinzo, Cylinder, and King's Gambit, I think they just completely dominate the race here. Of those, Cylinder's drawn to be outside the speed in a great stalking spot, whereas King's Gambit and Shinzo are back inside behind the speed, maybe having to dart up the inside at the right time of the race. So that makes the equation a little harder for them, but at least they're drawn around the speed. I'm tipping Shinzo. I don't know what happened first up. Might have been just a bit ring rusty. Ran okay through the line last time. Beautiful trial up the straight. Just looks absolutely ready to peak. I think Cylinder's the one drawn well. Never runs badly. Drawn well, gets clear air, hits the front and has to try and hang on. And King's Gambit, third in the slipper. He ripped his head off up the straight here when Blake Shin rode him. Back to Sydney, still a bit fierce mid-race, but he's been to the trial. Zara put him to sleep straight away. He'll do the same thing. He'll just tuck him behind. He'll be trying to track Shinzo. I think on form, they just stand out. If they're under their best form, I think they just dominate the race. I've got a leaning to Shinzo.
Love it. No, that's really good push, and I love the fact you're working around that golden slipper form. I actually didn't mind Don Corleone at massive odds, and he was there in fourth there. So nice little push for that form line there. Nothing like a bit of self-interest. So that's good to see. And Mark, look, what's your best bet of the day for punters? I believe it comes early on in the card, which might be a nice way to start the day for the punters.
Yeah, last year we gave Perfect Thought a big cheer in the Carbine Club, and this year, not as bigger odds, but I think He-Man will win. I think he's had two goes beyond 1,200. He should have won up there in Queensland at 13, and he almost should have won at 1,400 there last time in Sydney. He looks ready to fire. You got 9 runners. There's good speed in the race. I think he'll lob second last. He'll be tracking a horse like Influential or Brave Meat into the race, and I think He-Man will sail over the top. So, scratch from last week from the calendar Presnell because of the wide gate. Looks a beautiful race here, so I think He-Man will get us off with a winner in race 1.
Love that. There you go. Best bet of the day, around the $3.80 marks, and you got it there for free. So how good's that? Reminder, if you want to get Mark's tips, full staking plan analysis per Saturday, there might even be something out wide. You just never know. He's always good for that. And just go to thegreattipoff.com, search Mark Hunter, and that is easy as that. Now, first Tuesday in November, the Melbourne Cup, 3,200 metres is the race that stops the nation. Have you got any early thoughts? We've got Vauban there, $3.50, Gold Trip $5, Without a Fight $7, Solcombe $10, the Japanese break up $15, and then longer the rest. Any early thoughts on the Melbourne Cup, Mark?
Yeah, look, without seeing barriers or final field or anything like that, my early thoughts would be that the good horses will dominate. Having watched Vauban, you take a line through a horse like More Fallons, who should have won the Geelong Cup in the wrong part of the track. It was some 13 lengths behind Vauban in that race at Ascot. So wow. I would think, without doing the form yet, I would think that Vauban will be an absolute standout. We saw Without a Fight strong through the line on dry ground at Caulfield. It's going great. And a horse called Absurd. It ran behind Vauban in that Ascot race, got beat 7 lengths, but it was well back in the field. Vauban shot off after dictating the race. Absurd ran on well. Absurd then went to the Ebor, sat 3 wide the trip and still won. Stablemate of Vauban. Been working with it, and all the attention's on Vauban, but gee whiz, Absurd's no mug, so I'll be having Absurd right in my selections come Cup Day.
And what would be your best of the Aussies? Without a Fight, you mentioned it in the Caulfield Cup, was very impressive, and you've obviously got Gold Trip ahead of it in the market. If you had to have a bet on top Aussie, let's just say, which of those two would you choose?
I choose Without a Fight. I'll go with Zara, Without a Fight. I think that 30 degrees forecast on Tuesday, so that won't play into the hands of Gold Trip at all, whereas it will suit Without a Fight. I think the horse was strong through the line at 2,400. It's just in the zone. The stable have got to have given it a beautiful preparation. So I would think Without a Fight is a standout for the first Aussie home.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. It's going to be a super race. It's going to be a massive week. Punters, if you want Mark's stuff, thegreattipoff.com, search Mark Hunter, easy as that. Mark, thanks for your time. Best of luck with the carnival. Hopefully you get off to a flying start with the first race of the Flemington Carnival with He-Man, and no doubt you'll providing your followers another fill up over the carnival, mate.
Thanks, Mick. Thank you.